And so the big news of the day, the Denver Broncos have acquired wide receiver Jaylen Waddle from the Miami Dolphins in exchange for a first-round pick, a third-round pick, and a fourth-round pick swap in this year's draft. The Broncos, who have needed a wide receiver for a very long time, have finally added to their offense. They are still the only team in the NFL who have not signed an external free agent at this point, which is insane to me. But they've made up for it by going out there and getting Jaylen Waddle. There were rumors over the last few days that they were in the A.J. Brown sweepstakes with the Philadelphia Eagles. That is no longer the case at this point. So especially even if they were in, it's not going to be a fit at this rate. So Jaylen Waddle is a Denver Bronco. They gave up a haul to go out and get him. So we'll start with Kyle. Kyle, do you think that this was an overpay by the Broncos, or do you think that this was the right move?
Man, I think that's a steep price to pay for Cortland Sutton's water boy, man. You could have just signed a guy off the streets if you wanted that. But realistically, at the start of the offseason, I probably would have told you, yeah, that's an overpay. But then when you see DJ Moore go for a second to the Bills, that sort of recontextualizes the wide receiver market, because DJ Moore, although he's been good, he never really got a solid footing in Chicago. So now there's questions on if he's still that guy he was early in his career, the guy that was a centerpiece, or not the centerpiece, but a part of that Panthers trade to the Bears in the first place, who was promising. He had some good production. Now he's sort of like, has he fallen off? Is he still elite? Is he still good at all? Is he serviceable? That got a second-round pick. So I think Waddle, who's had a little bit more consistent production, even if it's been with Tyreek Hill as his running mate for a lot of it, even though I think his first season was Tyreek was there. That was 2021. Well, I know early in his career he was really setting a good pace, and then he's kind of tailed off the last 2 years. He hasn't broken 1,000 yards. But overall, I think that's partially due to the Mike McDaniel offense maybe being solved a little bit by NFL defenses with a lot of too high shells and all that kind of stuff, limiting the deep ball. So I think in a different system, maybe with Sean Payton, who is a brilliant offensive mind, as Matt loves to say, I think he could be pretty good. But I think overall, I don't think A.J. Brown's going anywhere, because if Waddle can get a first and a third and he's only like 1 year younger than A.J. has 3 Pro Bowls, 3 All-Pros. Waddle hasn't even sniffed one. I think Howie has now been affirmed that he's going to want at least the Waddle package, and I don't know if they're going to get it. So, A.J. Brown, welcome back to Philly.
All right.
Get ready to find a new book to read.
Now, every other year, the Eagles go to the Super Bowl, so that's just what's going to happen now.
Yeah, maybe.
Strap in, boys.
All right. So, Kyle likes the move.
No, I wouldn't say I like it, but I think for the wide receiver market as is, I guess it's acceptable. But that's a steep price to pay for a guy that's never been a true wide receiver one.
Well, he'll definitely be a wide receiver one in Denver. Ethan, I'll go to you.
Bro. Come on now.
He's so much better than Cortland Sutton.
Yeah, maybe if Cortland Sutton had one leg.
No, he's definitely better. He's a better athlete than Cortland Sutton. I mean, they're two different types of receivers.
Tom Brady wasn't the best athlete.
By dogism. With a capital S.
Sutton's got that dog in him.
Sutton,
can't teach that.
A lot of drops and key moments for Cortland Sutton. I will throw that out there. But all right, Ethan, I'm going to go over to you. Mm-hmm. Did you think that the Broncos overpaid for Jaylen Waddle, or did you think it was a fair trade?
I mean, is it really an overpay, or is that just what the market is for wide receivers these days? Like, it seems like a lot. Like, I guess to us it seems like a lot, but I don't know if that's what he's going for. I mean, it seems as though each year receivers just keep getting more and more and more important. And I mean, Waddle had an okay season last year. He had He had 910 touchdowns or 910 yards. He set a new record this year. Yeah. 910 yards and 6 touchdowns. So, even with Tua and was it Quinn Ewers and whoever else started down in
I think
that
Zach
horrible
Wilson got in
situation-
some action.
Did he really? Okay. So yeah, whoever. I mean, if you're catching passes from Zach Wilson, you know that you're not in a good situation. Like we just, it's not a good look. So I think with a competent quarterback, Sean Payton is supposed to be a really smart offensive coach. Seems to be yet to be fully realized in Denver yet, but another year maybe he'll be moving along again. So I don't know. It does seem like a lot, but I don't know. It kind of just seems like that's what wide receivers are going for nowadays.
Yeah, that's
So
fair. And I think
I think it's a good move overall. Like I think they're better having made it than not making it. So
Would
I
you
would
have rather done the McDuffie trade or the Waddle trade?
the Waddle trade, 100%.
This guy's on crack. This guy is something else.
The Broncos do not need another corner.
Yeah, brother, you got a white corner on the outside. You need another cornerback.
Nah, they're fine. Riley Moss was all right.
All right.
And they drafted Jade Barron. So
Yeah, was he good last year? I think he was like mid, right?
he didn't get a lot of playing time
Yeah.
because you had Surtain and you had Moss. So they put him in at the nickel at different times, but they had Jaquan McMillan play nickel. It was really, in my opinion, the Broncos made that pick thinking he was the best player on the board. I don't know a year later if that's gonna stack up with how some of the other guys did, but that was their move at the time. It was a luxury pick, in my opinion. But all right, Mason, I'll throw it over to you. Jaylen Waddle to the Denver Broncos. Was it an overpay or was it a fair trade?
Clean cut overpay. I mean, look, look at the wide receiver room you guys already had. I mean, why did you go out and waste all of these assets on Jaylen Waddle? I mean, guys like Troy Franklin, Marvin Mims,
Troy Franklin lost because he dropped like freaking 40 points that 1 week.
Dude, if like the thing that's going to be holding this team back isn't the guys who's catching the ball, it's the guy who's throwing. I mean, let's just have a conversation here. Should have stacked that pick. It's going to be rough. It's going to be a rough year for the Broncos. But I don't know. Jaylen Waddle to me, he was better at the start of his career. I know last year was a weird year with the Dolphins and their offense, Tua in and out, and their offense not looking great. But with Tyreek Hill, what did he get hurt? Like week 5? I feel like he was out most of the year,
it was
right?
pretty early in the season.
It was fairly early in the season.
So then with Jaylen Waddle as your number one, he still didn't break 1,000 yards, even though he played, I think, almost every game. It looks like maybe he missed a game where they just sat in the last game of the year. So I know, Miami's offense wasn't exactly high flying last year, but he just his best year was in his second year. And since then, he's just been kind of on the downtrend. I think I agree with what everybody else is saying. It's just kind of what the market dictates, but I don't know. It's just it seems like a lot for a guy who's not like surefire. Like this isn't like you're getting Justin Jefferson or anything. So see how it pans out. He definitely listen. Could I see him having like 1,200 yards and bouncing back this year? Sure, definitely going to be the number one option in Denver. But I don't know. It's a lot to give away. So we'll see.
All right. Could you imagine what Justin Jefferson would have had to gone for if Jaylen
That's
Waddle
exactly
was
what I was
1 and
thinking.
3?
5 wands.
Yeah, literally like 3 first-round picks and a player.
Like it would look like an NBA trade.
Yeah.
Crazy.
No, you're
Where
right.
you're trading, 5 first-round picks, a pick swap, and your 2 best players for a single superstar or something like that.
Which they are trying to pass that you can trade up to 5 years of draft picks now. That is something that has been going around because currently you can only trade up to 3 years in advance worth of draft picks. So they're looking
the Rams are
okay.
The Rams are salivating.
Yeah, they are.
Dude, Madden is
That
about to be broke.
2032 first round pick is looking mighty fine right now.
So middle schooler right now is punching the air.
But all right,
Their
Pat,
GM is like, I don't
to-
even think I'm going to be alive then. Who cares? Just trade them.
Yeah, no doubt.
Him going down with the ship. He's like, "Fuck it, we're trading everything. Let's go."
Jerry
Yep.
Jones is going to sell the whole team.
Jerry Jones will croak before he sells. Sorry,
He's gonna make
Cowboys.
himself AI.
All right, is it
Roll
my
the team.
turn?
Yeah, Pat. So
Sure,
what do you
Matt.
think? Do you think that the Denver Broncos overpaid for Jaylen Waddle, or do you think that it was a fair trade?
Well, I don't want to, make a statement before I see the tape. So clearly, Matt has seen some Tavon Austin-esque tape on Jaylen Waddle that I need him to send me after this to be convinced that this isn't one of the greatest overpays, maybe of all time. We're talking about a 5'10" wide receiver who is in his year 28 season, who the last 2 years has not eclipsed 1,000 yards. And in one of those last year, in 2024, he only caught 2 receiving touchdowns. This is a player who you could take that first round pick that you gave up, go out, get a young stud from college, and slot him into a young offense and teach him, how to play Denver Broncos football. I think you went out and were just scouring the market after Alec Pierce got the craziest bag of all time and reset the wide receiver market forever. And Broncos execs were like scrambling for some answer. Honestly, I agree with Kyle. I don't think Courtland Sutton is that bad. I honestly think that the team could have gotten by with Courtland Sutton and a young wide receiver that they picked up in the draft, whether that first pick or that later pick that they gave up. I'm not convinced by the tape on Jaylen Waddle. And I know the comparison to like AJ Brown we keep talking about, but I think comparatively, AJ has had such a stronger career than Jaylen Waddle that really, I mean, I agree with Kyle. Like, this is a huge asset to the Eagles. So thank you, Denver Broncos, for going out and overpaying for Jaylen Waddle, because it makes AJ Brown look like he's worth 2 firsts, 2 thirds, and 5 fifths. So I think it's an overpay. I mean, it's going to be interesting. His ADOT, by the way, has gone up over the last 5 years. So Drew Lock's going to be slinging it down the field to him. We'll see.
Drew Lock plays for the Seahawks.
Sorry, I said Drew Lock again. We'll see if what's his name? Denver Broncos quarterback Mo Picks can sling the rock down the field to a guy with a 5'10" frame, but I don't see it happening. So I think it's an overpay.
All right. So I will disagree with you. I do not think it's an overpay in the slightest. In a sense, the Broncos just drafted Jaylen Waddle with their first round pick and moves back 10 spots in the third round is really what it amounts to being. And I think for that, yeah, sure, you could have gone out and drafted a receiver in the first round, but they've tried that the last 2 years, not in the first round necessarily, but they drafted Pat Bryant last year in the third round. The year before that, Troy Franklin in the second. Or maybe I have those backwards. But either way, 2 young receivers who have been okay at best. They've had shown flashes, but they haven't become home run hitters. And that's what the Broncos needed. Troy Franklin and Bo Nix, despite having the Oregon connections that they had, it was quite literally the worst deep ball connection in the NFL this past season. Troy Franklin could not track a ball down the field. And despite that, the Broncos kept going to it. I don't know why they didn't use Marvin Mims in that role more, but they didn't. And quite honestly, anybody that they added to the wide receiver group would have been an upgrade. I mean, they just re-signed little Jordan Humphrey a couple days ago, so that's where we were at with wide receivers.
Respect. Hold on.
I'm not putting respect on little Jordan Humphrey's name. I'm just not going to do it. But yeah, the Broncos needed a wide receiver regardless. They did not go out and sign one of the guys in free agency like we saw. You mentioned Alec Pierce with a just market-setting contract to go back to the Colts. I'd much rather have Jaylen Waddle than Alec Pierce for $30 million a season. Romeo Doubs was like the next best option. I'd rather have Jaylen Waddle than Romeo Doubs. And the Broncos roster is pretty much set. Their chances for draft picks to come in and take a spot are very slim, considering they've brought back mostly their entire roster. So they are quite literally going to run it back next year. Wide receiver was the big area where you can say, okay, yeah, go out and find an established guy. Nix is still on a rookie contract, and Jaylen Waddle's contract is very similar to what Rashid Shaheed just signed this offseason. So for the same money as Shaheed, you get a better wide receiver, in my opinion, in Jaylen Waddle. I know Shaheed is an amazing kick returner, but they have Marvin Mims for that, who's a multi-time Pro Bowler. So I don't think it was an overpay. I think they quite literally just drafted an established wide receiver in the first round. I kind of sucks because I love the NFL drafts and I'm not really going to have anything to be watching for on that first day. But overall, no, I think it was a great move for Denver. It gives them a legitimate wide receiver one. I've been saying for years that Courtland Sutton is a really good wide receiver too, but he's just not a guy that can carry an offense. I think this will open up things for Bo Nix, and I'm excited to see what Davis Webb will do in his first year as a play caller with a weapon like Jaylen Waddle. I also would like to say that the Buffalo Bills offered a first-round pick for Waddle to the Miami Dolphins, but the Dolphins did not want to trade him in division. So interesting that Buffalo went after Waddle and then pivoted to DJ Moore. So
It's an interesting little bit right there.
Yeah.
Would you rather have Jaylen Waddle for that package or Michael Pittman for his package?
Whoa.
Not what I meant. Not what I meant. Not what I meant, to be clear.
Whoa.
I need to see
Hey
the
now.
package first.
To be
Honestly,
clear.
Pat, I would say Michael Pittman just because I love that kind of value of a deal. I think Jaylen Waddle is a much better player. But for a 6th-round pick, yeah, I would do that for Michael Pittman in a heartbeat.
I was just curious. It was one of the players I thought of when you were talking about it, and I was like, oh, I know that was your best buy of the offseason. So I was just thinking about it.